Good afternoon to everybody who's joined. My name is Richard Danilowicz, and my project is No IT. So some quick things about me. I am located in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm currently a knowledge and onboarding supervisor at Marsh McLennan. I chose CodeU to expand my skill set. Most of my technical expertise is in technical troubleshooting, and I kind of wanted to expand my know-how in terms of IT and kind of get into software development a bit. And CodeU seemed like a good opportunity to do that. Why did I choose to make no IT? So in my current role, I'm a knowledge admin for the ServiceNow knowledge base. And I was inspired by knowledge bases like Confluence and ServiceNow in terms of their functionality and kind of the look and feel and all that stuff. And I wanted to try and emulate some of the logic or the features that make those sites as popular as they are. So overall, I thought it was a very eye-opening experience building my website and kind of getting into the logic of what makes some of the features and functionality of those websites like really great. So No IT is a knowledge management application. It's designed to manage and organize articles within specific categories. This project provides functionality for users to browse articles by category, create new categories and articles, and edit or delete existing content. So only admins who are logged in can actually manage the content, so it's contextual based upon the login and the roles. And this is just kind of a picture of the landing page of the website. I used ASP.NET MVC model and coded it in C#. I have 3 controllers. One is for article management, one is for category management, and one is to manage the homepage and the user authentication. So API logic is implemented to manage the CRUD functionality and the data stored in my MySQL database. So a brief breakdown and some code snippets of some of the API logic for the categories. Here's like a basic one for category creation. A brief snippet of some of the logic that goes into the actual login on the homepage, and some of the logic around deleting a category. Like I mentioned before, the views are contextually tied to login so that only an administrator will see buttons to create, edit, or delete articles and categories to kind of create that same experience you would have in a popular knowledge base where it's very role-based and you're only going to see what you're provisioned for. So in the standard view, you can see the categories on the side and then hyperlinks for the individual articles with the login button here. And if you're logged in, you can see there's some new contextual buttons there to kind of manage the articles. You could create, you can delete, etc., and then you can log it back out. So I took my project a little beyond the scope of what it needed to be, and I used Docker to make an image, and I pushed a containerized version of my app to AWS, and I'm hosting that in my EC2 instance, which can be accessed via this link. So I'll just demo it really quick. So this is my website. This is the landing page. There's some popular categories. If you go, you can see that there's none of the buttons there. For an admin, you can kind of look at the content, but you can't really do anything with it other than view it. So I'll go ahead and log in. And then you see you have the ability to edit, to manage categories. You can edit or delete articles. You can do it from within the actual article itself. So challenges and obstacles. One of the more significant issues I had was with database logic, specifically around model state errors. I wanted to make sure I had really robust data validation, but I also needed it to work. And I kept getting errors, or it would just throw very generic errors. So to overcome this, what I did was I implemented logging into my logic to output the exact location where the logic was failing, and then taking that output and searching on things like Stack Overflow and Google to kind of help narrow down what I needed to tweak in my logic to get it working. And this was incredibly effective and kind of helped me to understand how important robust logging can be to make your debugging more efficient, to save you time, and to kind of get the code to tell you what's wrong with it without having to waste a ton of time like pulling your hair out and trying to figure out. Some of my biggest takeaways and what I learned from this is containerized web application deployment, learning how to use Docker, and then really learning AWS and using them together to launch my application into the web was a very fun experience, and I think a very practical experience. So the learning the ins and outs of AWS, and I mean, I've really only scratched the surface with it, was just a really eye-opening experience. Authentication and role-based access controls, using the login to kind of contextually change who can see what, and using roles really help to create that kind of authentic experience that you would expect from something like a knowledge base. And as far as developing and tweaking a good user interface and user experience, I really set out to make something that not only was very visually appealing, but also very easy to use and very intuitive. And so I kind of kept going back to that and just working on things like the color scheme, the layout, the HTML and the CSS to kind of make it so that if you pick a category, it highlights, or if I do this in a certain way, is it going to still look really well or really nice and very visually appealing? So that was something that was very rewarding to work on and to see that and to get feedback that suggested that was the case. So again, my name is Richard Danilowicz. This is my contact information. I'll leave this here on the screen for a moment. And again, thank you to everybody that came today. This has been a really enriching experience for me to go through this and to kind of experience a different part of the technology field that I'm generally used to. It was outside my comfort zone. And I think that I like to solve problems, and I like to develop, intuitive and kind of creative solutions to problems. And I would love the opportunity to continue to expand my skill set in different roles and opportunities.